Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning. The grey days, those are the best seen actually. We get a clear view of the town. On the sunny days, it's too bright in some places and too dark in the rest. The cloudy days are the best here for this scene. Best for woodblock prints too, looking at your prints, cloudy days. We just missed a bit of action. There was a gas delivery to the theatre just at the left there. The guy was banging and crashing. And I don't remember seeing him before, so I don't know if some kind of schedule has changed. I don't know. Good morning, good morning. So, first of all, the news. There is no news specifically. We haven't seen the men in bicycles, or I haven't seen them. Whether they've been around or not, I don't know. I've had no news about the bicycles. It's too early for the cargo. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. They will be getting ready just about the time the stream is finishing. They will be bringing out the cargo, I guess, and getting going, because they are still in business. They are in business, and boy, have they ever. This weekend, they were churning. They had groups, non-stop groups. I was working down here yesterday all afternoon. And they were busy. They were busy. In fact, we just missed one. I hadn't known about it. Just as we were finishing the stream here Saturday morning, Friday night for you, they were actually gathering a group of kids together. And when I shut down and went out to get the camera done, there was 4 or 5 kids going in with their mothers. And they ran groups all day long. So they are up and running, I guess. Paper's out, yes, paper's out. There's 2 of them coming today. It's Dei-chan is coming. She's working on the 12th print, the December print for this year's subscription series, the dragon with a hidden Easter egg. And who else? Ayumi-san. She's working on. Oh yeah, she's working on the woman with the kitten and the ball of red twine. Stuff to do, there's embossing work to do. We got another batch of these. I'm not going to do this on the stream here, but we got another batch of the cranes. I mentioned before, this is the current series from this year. We are stock building. We are building up stock. And on November the 20th, Japan time, we are going to open up this year's series again for new subscriptions. There's a waiting list of, I guess, a couple of 100 people, but not all of them, of course, will subscribe. Same as the Great Wave. Prints. That's all I do now. I check prints. I do sizing. I do embossing. We're not going to do embossing here now. That's for me. Okay, there's a show and tell today. There's a new show and tell. But there's also, we'll recap a little bit of yesterday's show and tell. What do you think this is? Okay. Someone's asking, did I have a time to look at the mail? Yes, I did. Did I not write back to you? I wrote back to you. Gee, I don't remember. A couple of people talked to me about the API stuff. I wrote back to one person, and I thought that was the same person we're seeing here. I wrote back to you. I know, the API thing. Remember the schedule here. I talked to you about the API here on Saturday morning. The fact that I was not able to connect to the server. That was, the post office gave me the password Friday night. I tried accessing it Friday night, Saturday morning. I reported to you. It's only Monday morning here. So we have written to the post office asking for one more IP address to be allowed in. The IP address of our server over in America. So we'll try connecting directly from scripts rather than through a browser with JavaScript. It seems that's the problem. There's the cores thing in the way. I should have foreseen that actually. So that'll be step 1, to try connecting with a non-browser method. And I will do that as soon as they give me a second IP. We're allowed 2, it seems. Oh, you replied to the reply. I haven't seen that. Yeah, you replied about some curl stuff. We're trying that already. We're using on our website already in many places. We're using curl calls to APIs, different APIs, not the post office. We're doing that already on our website. So we will try doing the same thing to the post office once they give me a second IP. Yeah, you gave me some sample code. We're actually doing that already on our website in other places. So thank you for doing that. But actually, I'm on that part of it. So. Okay, let's get some carving done. I really want to move ahead with this. There's so much other work, but let's just get some carving done today. This is funny stuff, you're asking about this. I saw it in the Lawson. Is it Lawson or 7-Eleven? Lawson. I went in to get a cup of coffee, and there was this on the counter. And actually, it's a drink, and I had no idea what it is. It's, as it says in Japanese, Pures Butter Sando. Butter caramel milk taste. Butter caramel milk taste. And I guess what it is, it's a collaboration. There seems to be a company called Press Butter Sand. And this is new to me. There's a company that makes some kind of hot sandwiches, or some kind of restaurant that makes hot sandwiches, and they've done a collaboration with Lawson. Saku no cookie ni butter cream to butter caramel. What is it? And yeah, there's a special shop with making butter sandwiches with cookies inside. And I guess they've got a collaboration with, it's sandwich. They've got a collaboration. Maybe you can, is that going to show? That's their address. Today's stream brought to you by, there you go, that might do it. Today's stream brought to you by. We'll try it, no idea. We'll try it later. It might be peanut butter, I don't know, no idea. Peanut butter sandwich with a cookie inside, I don't know. So it looks deadly. I don't really want this, but when I saw it there, I couldn't resist picking it up to show you. There's two modes here. There's this thing. I guess there's probably a whole bunch of YouTube people, YouTube streamers and stuff, showing what is it? It's the weird and quirky Japan. It's a thing. There's so many interesting, fascinating things here, but that's a thing. To have it was a blog or a YouTube stream showing the weird and quirky side of Japan, and I really don't want to do that. There's so much, but no thanks. I don't want that to be my shtick. Much, whatever. So, there's enough quirkiness in Mokuhankan without worrying about the quirkiness of Japan. So But it is fun. It's one of the things that makes it fun living here, The stuff you come up across every day, like, now what, Oh, I guess it's the same. As long as you're not living in your own home country, probably any country is the same. If you're an outsider, you see these things that seem strange to you, I guess the same thing. For an outsider living in America, America is a bizarrely strange country too. So we're all the same, I guess. Press hot sando. One of the reasons, actually, it's funny, I learned this years and years ago. One of the reasons why these, for example, Japanese names for things sound funny to English native speakers is the what do you call it? The word order. I didn't know this was a thing as an English speaker until I tried teaching English. Back when I first came here, I spent 5 years teaching English. And I hadn't realized it, but there's a thing in English, there's rules about word order. For example, when you have adjectives in something, you have a car that's got a color and it's got some other characteristics and stuff like this. And there's rules about the way you list the characteristics. I hadn't known this until I realized that people in Japanese were speaking it funny, and I was trying to teach them how to do this. It's a fast red car. You don't say it's a red fast car. And if you list these adjectives, there's certain classifications of adjectives. A big red fast car, a big fast red car. There's ways to do it, and there's ways that break the rules. And you try explaining these to people, and I have no idea how to explain them because we do it by ear. And this can here, press butter sand. I think part of the reason it sounds strange is because it's broken these rules. We have a sandwich that's made with butter and it's pressed. How would you say this in English? A pressed butter sandwich, I guess. So maybe actually it's the same rule. Press butter sando. I don't know. There are some thin ones here. Be careful, Dave. There's some thin ones here. Boop, boop, boom, boop, boop, boom, boop, 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 boom. There's quite a lot of variation in some of these needles, thick ones, thin ones. Do I copy what the guy carved, or do I try and make them even? It's interesting, How accurate was he trying to be? I don't know. So if I copy that last one, it's super thin, medium, then a bit thick. Is it just his carelessness that I'm copying? I don't know. Anyway, just give it a go. Sounds close. Could we see him? So you got a rotten, big, old, round, green country throwing. There's an order, and it's really strange, and I have no idea how we learn this. It's euphonic, I guess. It just goes by the sound. I don't know. Or is it you must describe size before color? There's an actual law, a list of rules here. No idea how it works. And here Dave was in his English class trying to explain the rules for this, and I couldn't do it. So, the students ask you this question. You say, let me get back to you on that. Whatever. It's okay. You explain to them that in Japanese there's something similar, that things you learn by the sound rather than by the grammatical rule. But when you're trying to explain them later, you have to explain the rules. So, Kazoka. And my own camera is just sliding out of view here. It's okay. I think I'm on. Good. Okay, we've got to get this part done here today to show. If I talk too much. Not sure what else there is in the way of news and stuff. And for me, I've been buried. The last weekend has been absolutely buried in work. I know I was hoping to get that post office stuff up and running, but there was nothing I could do on it over the weekend at all, waiting for them to get back to me. But it didn't matter because I wouldn't have had time anyway. This weekend was staggeringly, stunningly busy for us. Those of you who are on our mailing list, we put out a mailing the other day, Thursday night, was it? I can't remember. And this has been spectacular, absolutely spectacular. I think I said so on Saturday. There's a flood. It's more than ever before, the response to that mailing. I know Ome, they haven't seen this yet because they're going to come into work Monday morning today after the weekend. They're going to see everything that came in on the weekend. And I tell you, they're just going to throw up their hands and say, what do you expect me to do with this? So they know it's going to be all hands on deck for the next couple of days, If people ordered, Friday, Saturday, and they're waiting for their tracking number and stuff like that, please don't wait today. There's no way we're going to be able to chew through all that stuff today and tomorrow. It's going to take a few days to chew through this. This is why we asked everybody early, if you're thinking about gifts, get going on it now. So we're going to take it'll take time for us to process it to send first, then into the postal system. But the response has been absolutely staggering. It's a bit too soon to tell yet. We've got 2 months left in the year, November and December. But if November and December are just normal months for us, if they just continue to be okay, normal months, then by the end of the year, it looks like the overall revenue of the company will have returned to pre-COVID levels, without Asakusa. And that's just whatever, that's just incredible to us, My God, there's some small stuff in here. Ciao. Is this visible actually to you guys? I don't know. I can barely see it myself. Can you see it over there? I guess it's sort of visible. Hey. Someone's asking, is it too late to order? Not really. We're ahead of the game. It depends what country you're in. And if you're in Australia, you're out of luck because we can't ship anything at the moment to Australia. It's country by country. Russia's down, Israel is down, Australia is down, Italy is down. The rest of Europe seems to be okay. North America is okay. Canada is down, but we're going through America. There's a list of all these countries and problems on the website listed. It's linked in through the shopping cart. And we ourselves were on it. Everything that's in the cart is in stock. When things get sold out, they come out of the shopping cart. So. And one bit of a disappointment to Watanabe-san, when we put that mailing out the other day, she had prepared a ton of new interesting stuff in the flea market, what we call the flea market. And most of the interesting stuff disappeared the first day, the first few minutes. You know. She has really mixed feelings. She's really happy. The work she's done to get this stuff photographed and everything uploaded. But it's frustrating for her because it just disappears so quickly. So she just gets right back to the beginning again, you know. There was one, she had spent hours and hours getting ready. It was a set of 24 Utamoto prints in a big, beautiful deluxe box. And she'd spent hours getting it photographed and described and getting the website ready. You know. And we send out the mailing, and that's the first thing that goes 5 minutes later. And she's like, everybody else is going to get frustrated. They're going to click on the link and it's gone. So she's back in today. She'll be doing some more. Good, got through it. That corner came out nicely. I'm trying to be a good boy and not carve too deeply here. I'm trying to keep it shallow because there's no chance of any paper dip in a thing like this. So shallow is okay. But, Hunting, I've been digging too deeply recently. You know. This is coming along nicely. I am happy with this. Save the slivers and drop one or two in the package. Yeah, right. People need that. はい、もしもし、モコハンカンです。はい、はい、はい、はい、もし、どうも、おはようございます。どうもどうも、はい、はい、はい。あ、いえいえ、とんでもないです。ありがとうございます。はい。はい。うんうんうん。そんなことないと思いますよ。はい。うん。OK。はい。うんうん。OK。OK。じゃあ私ちょっと考えますから。OK。はい。あの二人が多分今ニューフェイスが入ってますから、石上さんがニューフェイスにガンガンガンガンやってますから、あんまり考えてないんですが、本当に仕事いっぱい溜まってますよ。いっぱいです。そうそうそう。OK。OK。わからないわからない。あの二人が多分もう自分の仕事しか考えてないんですが、私から見るともういろいろすること多いんですから、じゃあちょっと待っててくださいね。私は多分今週中に青梅行きますから、ちょっと考えて二人に話して、僕お願いすることですね。ちょっと仕事を分けてください。坂本さんができるようなものを考えましょう。はい、わかりますね。はい、OK。じゃあ、もうちょっと待っててくださいですね。うん、はい、はい。じゃあ、この電話番号は大丈夫ですか？いつもこの連絡先は大丈夫ですか？はい、OK。はい、わかりました。じゃあ、もうちょっと待って、OK。どうも、もうちょっと待っててください。はい、ありがとうございます。連絡ありがとうございました。はい、どうも。Excuse me。そっか。そっか。Just a minute. One of the ladies from the Ome staff ですね。はい。No, it's not a sales call. It's a staff member. She has no idea that I do streaming or anything like this. So. What's this talking about surfing? That wasn't the lawyer. Give me a break. So you guys haven't forgotten about that. That's waiting for me. That whole project now at the moment is waiting for me. The lawyer and everything else is all set. It's all organized. They've all said, okay, there you go. And now it's waiting for me to put together a project and move forward with it. But clones. I need a clone, or not even that, just somebody who can do more of this stuff, I don't know. It's partly my own fault, I want to do this, I want to do it by myself and all that kind of stuff, I don't know. There's a big fat one here. Do we leave it fat? Yeah, real big fat needle there. Let's trim it just a little bit. Get that. Okay, here's our pine tree. There's our last little row of needles. Zoom, 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 all in a row here. Let's get these two at the bottom out of the way first. Digging a bit too deeply here. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, now we've got the row. Let's do this row. Nice curve. Shoop. Backhand. Out she comes. Next one. They're all different thicknesses, you know, medium, thin, thick. I guess it makes it look natural, I guess, but I think he was also a little bit of a rough. It's also possible, the original one, that there weren't actually individual pine needles drawn here. You know. The designer could have just done some rough brush strokes showing, you know, cut a tree here. He could have shown the main branches and then left it for the carver to fill it in. That was really, really common. Hokusai talked about that in some letters back and forth to a publisher. He would just draw a circle or an oval, put a face here, put a Hokusai face here. And it was up to the carver to fill in a Hokusai face, you know. Speaking about Hokusai, there's a really, really funny thing I read on the weekend. It's the British Museum has that video up, and it's getting a little bit of traction, not too much. It's a bit disappointing. I thought it would get more attention, but there's only like 70 comments on it. It's too bad. I thought a lot more people would be seeing it, but one of the comments on the video over at the British Museum is I just could not stop laughing. It's somebody, maybe it's somebody on the stream here, I'm sorry, I should be careful not to make fun of somebody, I don't know, whatever. It's a person who, he is doing research trying to find the actual location of the Great Wave. And he's apparently serious about this. And he's got maps and he's figuring out angles and views and whatever. And he says, I found it. I think I found it. I have come up with the place where Hokusai saw this wave and drew it. And I'm like, it's just facepalm situation, you know. Hokusai did not get on a boat, go out into the ocean and see this and sketch it from real life. That's not how this works, but whatever. And he said, I found it. I found the place, you know. I'm sorry, whatever, I'm sorry. Okay, I think actually that one's done now. I do believe we've done the second one. We finished the first one a while back. This is the second one. Can we get zoomed in? Oops, that seems to be our limit here right now. That's our first pass. It won't be the last pass on this, because after I get a test print of this, what I will be able to see then is the end of a lot of these pine needles. The end of them, I've just run them off straight. And the end of some of them needs a little bit of a curve, but I can't see it at this stage. You can see some. See the end of these 3 or 4 needles down here? They've got a bit of a curve at the end because they're fat. But the ones I just cut right now, they're straight lines. So I will have to adjust the end of those needles. But I can't see it at this level at this stage. Oh, someone's asking a rubbing. Can we do that? Let's try. It doesn't hurt the print at all. It's okay. It doesn't hurt the blog. Let's try. Do I have a pencil? Yes. Do I have a pencil with a flat lead? No. Let me get a piece of paper here. Paper. My kingdom for a piece of paper. So first, let me wear down the pencil. I want a flat surface on the pencil, so hang on a sec. Okay, let's try this. Just do it lightly first, figure out where we are. They're awfully small lines. I don't know if it's going to work, but let's see what we get here. I think it's beyond the definition of what we can see here. No, let's try it again. I think it's just too delicate for this. The bigger lines work fine out here. I think really you're just going to basically have to wait till we print it. The lines here are just too close together. So. Yeah, not so successful. Whatever, you can see obviously the thickness of the paper. If I had some Gumpy paper, that's an idea here. Do I have a scrap of Gumpy paper? Let's try this. I don't know, it's all twisted paper. Let's try this piece of Gumpy paper. So, someone's saying, super fine paper and a carefully prepared pencil. Okay, I guess, but you know, whatever. What have I got here? I don't even know where we are. It's working better. No, a little bit better. If we were really careful with this, we could do it. There's our pine needles, I think. It would be doable. So I have got to finish this. So. Okay, lady, 1 done, 2 done. Let's move along. Where do we go? Just move along, move along, move along. We're never finished. Just keep going. This next one is going to be not so much fun at all. The previous ones, they've had stems, leaves, waves. They've had things with shape. This next one, it's whatever, little birdies or something, but nothing really has interesting shape. You got to try. I mean, the little bits of branch and stuff like that. We can't just make ugly blobs, but this is much less fun. You've got to take away most of the wood, leaving just tiny dots. And this one is not, whatever. I'm not supposed to say this sort of thing, but some of it's more fun than others. Can't be helped. No, Pearlstein, this one's going to be pretty quick. This one is not going to be quick. It's a lot of time and trouble to get in there and take out all those little dots, take out around those little dots. Now what I might do here, yeah, we'll do it zone by zone. I know. In other words, rather than try and dig in the middle here and take this out, what I'll do first is I'm going to round, like we do with calligraphy. What I'll do first is I'll take out a lot of the major waste first, just like we do with calligraphy. And then clear inside that zone. That doesn't want to come out. Oh, they're back. This is the kind of work now here. This would be the apprentice, absolutely. The apprentice doing this, running around, clearing it all out, and leaving it for the head guy to come in and do the other work here, you know. So Dave right now, he's got his apprentice hat on. Relax, I'm not going to do the whole image, just one corner of it. Let's just do this for one corner, just so you can see the idea here. Heard the pop. Nope, not this time round. Coming soon to a woodblock stream near you, I'm sure, but not right now. It's Monday and lots of garbage down there. They were busy. It was really, really busy in Asakusa. Asakusa itself now seems, on the face of it, to be sort of back to pre-pandemic kind of levels. The streets are jammed with people. It's a different kind of people, you know. I didn't do any kind of analysis of it before, but yesterday when I was standing outside looking at the people walking down the street, it's very much a different kind of crowd than we had a few years ago. Of course, number one, there's no foreigners here, very, very few foreigners walking down the street, whereas 2 or 3 years ago, it was, you know, whatever, 20% of the people or something here walking down the street are foreigners. Now it's zero. But other than that, the Japanese themselves, it's a different crowd now. They are all very, very, very young people. For all the time that I've lived in Japan, you know, through the 1980s, 90s, and so on, whatever, Asakusa has not been a haven or a hangout or a location for young people. It's been older guys or salarymen have been the people that come to Asakusa. I know. What I mean is, hanging out in Asakusa. Everybody comes to the temple. People of all kinds. Kids, older people, young families, whatever. They go to the temple, they give their blah, 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 and they go away. So Sensoji and Asakusa has been a destination point for all kinds of people. But what I mean is, the people you see hanging out here, walking down the street, looking at this, looking at that, they are now exclusively, 99 point whatever percent, they're in their 20s. They're young couples, they're 2 girls walking together, 3 or 4 guys in a gang hanging around. They're here to stroll around and to hang out and to drink. And it's a crowd that wasn't represented here in Asakusa in the old era before Corona. And actually, it's been coming for a long time. I hadn't realized it, but the area there, the Nakamise, the row of shops that goes up towards the temple, people who are in there, they've known about this for a long time. And in fact, I think I reported a news report sometime years ago that companies like Gucci and Versace and stuff like that, they have been investigating and thinking about the idea of opening shops in Asakusa. And I can see it. I was just laughing before. You got to be kidding. Gucci on the Nakamise, give me a break. And yet, based on what I see now walking around, they should be here. And maybe they're planning, I don't know, no idea. But that is the new Asakusa. It's kind of the Harajuku, Omotesando of the east side of Tokyo. And then families, we see families walking around. You never used to see that in Asakusa. The idea that a family with a couple of kids, which we do in Tokyo today on the weekend or something, let's go to Asakusa. Laughable, impossible. And yet, here we are. There's families all over the place. And this print is really different from the one next to it. Now, the one we just finished was basically nice curves, shapely lines, whether they were, bamboo leaves or whatever, or water or stuff like that. This one is now all ragged and rough. Nothing can be smooth, nothing can be shapely. It's all got to be jagged and rough. This is an old, looks like is it a plum tree or something? I don't know. It's an old, beaten-up tree, and it is not shapely. It's rough and ragged. So it's a completely different approach. It's variety, If it was all the same all the time, it wouldn't be, it wouldn't be so cool. And that was the frustration I had in the years of making that poet series. I hadn't realized it when I started that series, I knew it was going to be a challenge to hang in and do this for 10 years without, changing horses and stuff. But one thing I hadn't realized when starting that 10-year project was that all the prints were exactly the same style. Well, and of course, because it was a series. And I hadn't realized how much of a crippling handicap that would be. The knife movement was the same on every print for 100 prints for 10 years, And the thing you see me doing now, just changing right now from one style to another style right here, just at least being looser. That didn't happen to me. For 10 years, that didn't happen. I hadn't even realized it was a thing. Somebody's correcting my pronunciation. Dave, it's Versace. Chi. I said Che. Did I? Chi? Well, at least I didn't say Versailles or something like this, whatever. Well, someone says I'm sticking to the same thing for 10 years, cool, very, very impressive, Well, when you've got a family to feed and there's rent and all that stuff, kind of keeps your feet to the fire, When that was going on, I would get that from people. My God, 10 years, the same thing. My God, And then this is at the exhibition or something, and I just asked the guy, well, 10 years, what do you do? And the guy said, I'm a dentist. And I said, for 10 years you've been looking in people's mouths, and he's like laughing at me, It's the same thing, So the fact that I did a print series that lasted for 10 years, hopefully it was no big deal, The fact that it was a series helped me stay in line, I wasn't going to quit anyway, but you couldn't quit, so it wasn't a bug, it was a feature, But people were so impressed by that, It's funny. The ones that get me, the guy who's like a bus driver or something, he's been going around the same route for 10 years. That would drive me, whatever. So hopefully it was no big deal, just to stay with your job, I'm too deep again here, Absolutely, I'm too deep again. I am one hungry, a little carver this morning here. Missed my breakfast, such as it is. But it's the inbox, the inbox killed me this morning, I'm dealing with two inboxes, of course, so dealing with my own inbox and then Cameron's inbox still for another few weeks, And then it's FedEx morning today. That's what put me back yesterday afternoon. I spent most of yesterday afternoon packing a FedEx box. It's now outside. It's waiting. It's right beside the camera, actually. You can't quite see it. But, called FedEx. Not called them. I entered a request last night for FedEx to come. There will be a bunch. There's a shipment going today by FedEx, and there'll probably be another one. Today's Monday. There'll be another one Friday, Thursday, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. No breakfast, but I do have the drink. So I have a hot pressed butter sandwich, and I think I'll go to the convenience store. I'll go grab a brand donut or something. If it's too late to eat real breakfast, it just screws up lunch. So I'll go grab a brand donut to eat with my hot pressed sando. Drink. That is the real advantage living here in Asakusa as compared to Ome. out in Ome, get on my bicycle, and it's 12, 13 minutes to the nearest convenience store. To get to the nearest supermarket is about 20 minutes away. Ome now is really, it's I can't say Death Valley, that's not right, but it is a dying town, absolutely. With the population going down, the businesses are giving up one by one by one, the schools are consolidating. It is a shrinking town, and it's actually a very wide physical space, so they have a real problem. The tax revenue is low, but things like supplying the water and the sewer with a huge wide area, it's really, really getting difficult. The supermarkets, they don't care. They just count their revenue, and when it falls below a certain point, that's it. They close the door and leave. But the city can't do that. So Ome is in for some difficult times. Not just Ome, it's all over the country, of course. Not having kids will do that to you. So that's the cool deal about Asakusa. When I'm hungry, bang, walk down the street, and in seconds I can have good, tasty food, And there's supermarkets within reach here. There's convenience stores. My God, within literally seconds of my door. One minute walk or something from this door, there's now, I didn't even know, 3, 4, 5 convenience stores. I don't know. There's 3 full major supermarkets. Again, no more than 1 or 2 minutes from my door here. 24-hour supermarkets. There's no place that could possibly be more convenient than this for living and having stuff. Coming along. Please change video quality. I can't watch HD. I don't have anything to do. I can only do one thing. I can stream at one setting, and I'm streaming at 1080, 29.97 feet per second. If you need less than that, it has to come from Twitch. I'm sorry, I can't change it here. If I change it to less, then nobody could get the higher one. If you can't watch, if you go back later to the on-demand, is it like YouTube? You can watch it at a slower setting? I don't know. But I can't turn it off at this end. I'm sorry. FPS, frames per second, not feet per second, frames per second. Did I say the wrong thing? Feet per second, frames per second. There's probably going to be some stream changes coming up, I guess. I don't really know what's going to happen here. I have ordered, of course, you heard about this a couple weeks ago, I ordered one of the new laptops from Apple. This one has done wonderful service for the past 6 years. This is a MacBook from 2015 spring, the last of the good ones before they went haywire. I've kept it for 6 years. It's done very, very well. But it struggles with things like this. The fan is roaring now. So when I saw the announcement of the new Macs, last month, the company is buying me one. Well, the company's buying one for me to use. So that will be a much faster, more powerful machine to do this streaming. But I don't know about the streaming software. At the moment, I'm using OBS, and it's OBS 2.0.1. It's quite an old version which runs on this machine. And my video interfaces too are set for this particular level of computer. So it's possible that when I get the new computer that this software doesn't run on it. Quite possible, probable. And it's also possible that my video interfaces won't work. I'll have to figure out a new way to do that. So we'll see. So whether there's going to be a change right away or not, I don't know. If all goes well, the viewers wouldn't really notice anything different, I think. And mostly I'll expect to see a big difference in summertime. This computer gets so hot when we are video streaming. And during the summer, it's unbearable. I put the computer up on feet. It's on feet now to try and help it to stay cool. And the new generation of Macs seem quite powerful. They're going to run quite cool, it seems. Are we okay for show and tell? Not time yet to show. No, we're 10 minutes away or so. We've ordered an M1 Pro. I didn't get the Max. It's over my head. I don't do 8K video editing or something. So we've ordered an M1 Pro. So there's clearly going to be a better performance for the computer. Whether it will be reflected in a different video experience for the people watching, I don't think so. My number one concern is software. A lot of the software I'm using is going to be deprecated on the new system. So it's going to have to be a software hunt. And I don't know about the OBS, the broadcast software. I presume they have a newer version. I don't know. For show and tell today, we have lots of options. And as I showed you at the beginning of the stream, I want to spend a couple of minutes at the beginning of the show and tell. I want to spend a couple of minutes looking at the book that we got the other day, because I want to compare it with ones that we already have. So that'll be the first few minutes of the show and tell. Then for the rest of the show and tell, the main show and tell, I have 2 packages here that are unopened, and it'll be I have to decide which one to look at. And you remember the other day we looked at a set of books I had brought from Ome, a set of 5 old woodblock books that were reproductions of paintings. And it really didn't the quality was not so high. The woodblocks were fine, but the paintings were sort of, what's the word? Meh. And just as we did that, either that day or the next day, it was funny, these things seem to come in coincidental batches, you know. Just after I showed you that book, which had not been actually so impressive, an item came up on Yahoo Auction. And I guess it would have been, I said that night, or maybe the next day, I don't remember. And it was a set of 5 woodblock printed books, reproductions of paintings. And I'm like, that's an interesting coincidence. And it was a different artist, a different designer. And I picked it up, and maybe that's what we'll have a look at today. Okay, I think we're cooked there. Excuse me. I think that's it for the carving for today. So, as we recap here, we finished off the pine tree. Can't see. Yeah. And we've got to start on, is it a plum tree? I don't know, I can't tell. Plum or a cherry? I don't know. Something. I'll have to look back at the original to see. I can't tell from just the branches. There are blossoms here. There are going to be pink something blossoms on a different block. So I can't quite tell what kind of tree it is here. We'll see. Could be cherry. No, it's not a cherry. The branch is a different shape. It's a tree. Okay, show and tell time. Mr. Oshibori is late today. So, that's our Oshibori truck. He's a little bit later than usual today. Okay, as I said, we have a show and tell before, a quick recap, a quick look. This was the book. It's already carefully now put in plastic and preserved. Excuse me. This is the book we picked up the other day, one of the Chiliman books before they did the idea of putting them in Chiliman. I looked up the date. It is 1885. This was published, and this was one of the very first ones they published in color. That year was the first year they started doing them in color. And let's compare with something from a few years later where it is. Let's get the same book. We have so many of these books here these days. It's so cool. Anyway, okay, what you have here is the non-creped version and the creped version, and I have the French one. This one is not the English one, it's the French one. And they have changed the front cover. Let's get this out of here carefully again. Let's just find a random page in the middle where it opens carefully. Here we go. And the same page. Here we go. So here we are. These are printed from the same blocks, absolutely. This is the same set of wood blocks. And we have a bit too close. So you can see the proportions now. This is the first time we've seen them here side by side. So it's shrunk about, I don't know, 15% maybe. It's more than 10%. Well, let's find out. Let's give a number. Let's document this. A ruler, my kingdom for a ruler. Here we go. Okay. The image on the non-creped version, top to bottom, is 143 millimeters. And the same image on the creped version is 129 millimeters. So there's your scaling, 143 down to 129. And someone's saying they're seeing differences. So let's see. The one I have here, let's get a date on this just a minute. How much later is this? It's got the same date actually, Meiji 18. At least when the blocks were carved. It's Meiji 18. Oh no, and it's Meiji. So Meiji 18, first publication, this edition Meiji 19. So 1 year later, and that's about right. 1885 was when they started doing them, and very soon they started creping them. And is it absolutely the same block set, or are there differences? I see differences in the color blocks right away. This brown goes out here. This brown stops early here. In fact, it's a mistake. They've cut it off. The brown thatch should go here. Oh, I see. The smoke is blotting out the brown. Here, it's inside. We've got to scan these, photograph these, and put them up side by side. Absolutely. We need to do a line-by-line comparison. Key block seems the same, you know. Color blocks may be different. Key block seems the same. The printing is done first. The creping comes later. So this is not so helpful to you. We'll need to get them properly photographed and put them side by side so we can see a real good comparison of the two. Whether they're exactly the same blocks or different, I don't know. This is the first time I have ever had a chance to see the two versions side by side. As I said, I never expected to be able to get one of these. They're extremely rare. So coming soon to a website near you, we will scan and photograph so we can do a nice side-by-side comparison when we get time. Okay, today's normal show and tell. Yoisho. Again, no yellow tape, no green tape. Maybe inside, who knows? We might get lucky. Let's see. Actually, the green tape, it's not really suitable for outside wrapping, because it's removable tape. So it works fine for inside stuff, but nobody should be wrapping a package with the green tape. So let's see if we can slide her out. Nope. Is there a national shortage of green tape? I wonder. Sellotape. Okay, this is not some ancient book from old Meiji time. This is a 20th century publication. And it's the same characters that we saw the other day. Shuga, hyaku, this is shuis. There's etudes would be the word or studies. And I don't think it was the same thing. This is not meant to be a tehon for students in school. This is an artist at work, like a Chopin etudes. They're for practice also, but they're also for the real thing. Look at this. He's put it in backwards. You know, it should have been put in this way, so that when you open it, you have access to the bones, and you can open the book. Okay, we have a 5-volume set. These are 5-volume set of woodblock prints. Let's just grab one for the moment. Too much stuff in the way here. And very much the same approach, exactly the same kind of title, exactly the same approach. But we now have a whole different level, we'll see, presumably, a different level of artistic ability at play here. Oops. ちょっと待ってください。I was trying to find a Wikipedia page for the artist here. Hang on a sec. Oh, we got a Wikipedia page. Kawaii Gyokudo. Okay, here we go. Here's the designer. Oh, just a sec. Fool Around Dave. There's the link to the designer. Sorry about that, excuse me. And it's the same kind of stuff we saw on the other day. Very, very minimal, very, very light touch. And this guy has a much higher reputation in the art world than the guy we saw the other day. Much of a difference or not, you tell me, I don't know. This one is on a thicker, harder, heavier paper. I guess the first volume is mostly black and white. Let's skip through. Where are we here? Does that make it a bit better, less bright? Height. Someone's asking what? They don't look as much like watercolors. The originals, of course, were watercolor paintings. Gyokudo was not a printmaker. He was a painter. And these would be small sketches that he would produce. And these would have been made for the purpose of being made as woodblock prints. And the publisher must have asked him to produce these, and then bang, out he came and put them in. I don't know. I'm not seeing a real lot of difference in style from the ones we saw the other day, you know. They're very much similar in taste and style, I think, you know. I turned off, the flask light is off, John. Right. It was going so well. Why did you have to spoil it? It was going so well. So, I know someone's asking about the structure. It's not one long continuous sheet of paper. Each of the prints is made on the sheet that you see. They are then folded inwards and they are glued together at this point. These are two sheets are glued together here. They're glued quite a lot, actually. Look at that. There's more than a centimeter glued together. The other book binding, the one we saw a few minutes ago, the Watojibon, the Chirimenbon, the prints are folded backwards. The prints are folded in. This is album style. And I mean, give me a break. I have never seen a more badly drawn cat in my life, and you can quote me on this. This guy is famous in Japan. His name is hallowed in Japan. There's a museum dedicated to his work over in Ome, near where I live. And he published this? Cats, Japanese and cats. I do not get it. I just do not get it. They're all very nice. They're all very tasty. They're all, it's not really the kind of woodblock print that really excites me. When I want to see woodblock printmaking, I want to see sort of honest woodblock printmaking, not printmaking as a copy of a reproduction of something else. It's kind of a show-off technique. Look at it. Woodblock can do all these things. We can make a woodblock print that is a wonderful reproduction of a painting of the brushstrokes. But it's kind of, it's not dishonest. It's just like, for me, it's what's the point? This was a hugely important part of the Japanese woodblock print tradition, and it's here, and here it is. But I don't, it doesn't do anything for me, you know. And then you have to really like the artist and whatever. For me, it's not whatever. Complain. Anyway, we have these in the collection now. They are part of the tradition that we have to be showing and teaching and talking about. But I will never be making reproductions of these. We're not going to do any work like this ourselves. We want to make woodblock prints as woodblock prints, you know, from the beginning, carved and created as prints. But this is part of the tradition, the ability to reproduce watercolor paintings. That's not easy, you know. Do a gradation round like that. That is not easy. When were these made? Sorry about that. There's when were they made? Good question. This is not all that late. This is not anything old Meiji stuff. This is a 20th century publisher. They are made in, this edition is Heisei Gannen. This is 1989, this edition. I was in Japan. I was here. So this is not an ancient treasure. This is new. This is fresh baked. 1989, which makes it, just 31 years ago or so. I don't know. No big deal for me. Let's just quick look at some of the others. Hopefully there's something more colorful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Volume 5 here. No, they're going to be the same. I thought perhaps we'd get a bit more variety here. You probably detect a definite lack of enthusiasm in my voice here. Sorry, whatever it really is. They're a thing. They're not so much my thing. Oh, finally some rich color. There's also lots of tamari here. There's lots of enogu around the outside here. This is obviously being promoted as an art book, published in 1989. So they're not really selling this on the basis of, look at the beautiful woodblock prints. They would have been marketing this to people who wanted to see this designer's work, this designer's illustrations. And Unsodo, the company that did it, they have a huge, long history. And my guess, the blocks for these actually I don't know the history of this book. The blocks for these would have been carved quite a long ways back, but this is a modern edition from the blocks. Again, nothing for me to write home about at all. Okay, we had a cat. This guy actually was famous for his dogs. He was famous for these. And you see this reproduced all over the place. I know this is a certain style of dog drawing that this guy, he basically invented it. And this is his trademark. Did you see somebody came in? Was it Ami-san? Oh no, they've used a really, really thick, heavy paper for this, and it spoils it a little bit. They've had to use a lot of pressure for printing these colors. So the guy has really jammed it down. Fuji Wisteria, this is a famous dance scene, a famous image in Japanese traditional dance. A woman with the wisteria dancing. I don't know the backstory to it, but it is a very famous image in Japanese dance world. Some of them are more attractive to others. Each person is going to see their own thing in it. I think what we're seeing here, he's got blue clothing, and we're seeing his, I guess it's a straw rain shield. The person of this type would have had a straw hat, and there's a sort of a straw cloak that was used in the rain. And I think that's what we're seeing here, coming round. The phone again, my God, what's going on today? I think I will catch this later. It's Yamamoto-san, the printer. I will phone him back at the end of the stream. In fact, just a minute, I'll tell him, just a minute. Oh, he's gone. I will call him back. That's Yamamoto-san, the printer. He's the printer who just turned in the prints I showed you at the beginning, the cranes. These are the prints that just arrived from Yamamoto-san. So he wants to phone and talk about them. And I know what he's going to say. He's going to say, I'm sorry they didn't turn out quite as well, and I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And they're actually wonderful, but these guys just have to do it this way. So I am going to phone him and talk about the terrible job that he just returned. Okay, a bit of an ending here. Nothing. Sorry, I'm sorry. Today's show and tell, I was just trying to, again, cover all the bases here. It's something not really spectacular. To make up for it, I'll try and dig into the box here. What shall I do? We'll try and find a nice spectacular one for the next show and tell to make up for this. So, okay, I'm out of here. It's Monday morning. I am super busy. It's just so much going on here right now with all the orders for Christmas and stuff like that. I'll be back here carving again Thursday morning. See you then. Let's bring up the outside. Oh, sunshine gives it a much more different. We can't see the floater. Well, it's trying to float. And the ninja are in action. The ninja are in action today, Monday. We'll see if they do any business. Okay, I should get out of here. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Boy, oh boy.